Greetings and felicitations.
Okay, here comes the first round.
Boom.
And
Jeez, that was just
boom.
unnecessary.
Are you kidding me? He can't be out of range? What?
Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. You're off the Appian Way. This is another replay sent to me by Scorpion and Sin. They've had multiple games recently. They've promised me that this one is an absolute doozy. What we have here is Dardania versus Phthia. Very, very top tier, high level stuff. I'm letting this play out because it does look like it's going to take them some time. We're at Elenome's home. Now, for the Dardanian team, we've got a combination of axe chargers and Anatolian swords for medium infantry. We do have several Dardanian mobs in play. We've got two Savage Centaur warriors, a heavy Trojan chariot, and we'll see here. It looks like heavy infantry of heavy Anatolian swords and fearless swordsmen. And a little spread out. There's a clump of them over here in these trees. There's a clump over here in these trees. There's some that are deployed out in the open. And the centaurs are hidden. Phthia is another faction that can bring centaurs, and sure enough, there are centaurs hidden on this battlefield right here. On top of that, the rest of the army, we have a combination of champions of Phthia, heavy swordsmen, myrmidon swords, armored giant spearmen, a pair of Aeginian runners, Achilles on foot, and some young spears for some little extra body weight and chaff. Let's kind of see how this battle plays out. First step here is that the Archer Skirmisher hero is going to move up and try and get into a position where he can start getting some kills. I think the only character you can see right now, or unit, the only thing he can shoot at is a young spear. Don't think he wants to. We do have some move orders. Everybody's moving towards Elenome's home, the center of the map, which is surrounded by these mirrored cliff faces on either side. That is on both sides of this battlefield. Alright, so Phthia gets out here first. They're really moving in. Our Archer Skirmisher hero already has 6 kills, but he's had some javelins chucked at him by the Aeginian runners, and he's kept him on the move, and he's going to try and get him into a safe position. Champions of Phthia have crossed the street through the middle, and we've now got eyes on the Champions of Phthia. That's where the first couple of casualties came from. Aeginian runners are definitely giving the Archer Skirmisher hero something to think about, and these heavy swords are also dumping out some of their javelins, but they're just losing them into these Dardanian mobs. Not a big deal, not that great of not big of a problem. Some javelins from the Aeginian runners now heading towards the heavy Trojan chariots. Heavy Trojan chariots are just going to go ahead and fall back. It looks like Dardania here is going to go ahead and push all of this back while Phthia is trying to get its javelins into position behind this cliff face and just cause some damage. He's left behind an armored giant spearman and an Aeginian runner to cover the other flank.
Your hidden units.
Alright, so the Aeginian runners now are close enough to see these Dardanian mobs, and they will soon see the Anatolian swords, and it looks like he decides he doesn't want to see anymore. He's learned enough. He's moved up with his centaur warriors, and the Dardanian centaurs are going to fall back before they're hidden. He doesn't want to spoil his surprise yet, and he does, unfortunately, have these guys out of position, but so does Phthia. So these units are now seeing Dardania has an opportunity here to pounce on this and overwhelm it and take that over, and then engage the rest of his forces, and in so doing, really pin that, kill that off, and then distract the rest of this. That would be my strategy, or that'd be my play. It's a very, very good outflanking opportunity, and I'd want to take it. But it looks like Dardania's going to play it safe, keep falling back, move the heavy Trojan chariots over this way. Maybe they can kill the Aeginian runners, but the armored giant spearmen are going to be a counter to those chariots. The young spears are going to charge in here, grab one of the Anatolian swords, but there's more than enough hidden in the trees for Dardania to win this battle. And battle is joined now. The young spears going in first, and then getting supported by the Aeginian runners, but they're now getting outflanked by Anatolian swords. Achilles is now moving up here. He's activating Blood of Heracles. Our Archer Skirmisher hero has got his second shot off on Champions of Phthia. These are the perfect targets to hit. Those and Myrmidon swordsmen, because you are going to have to kill them. They will not rout. Heavy swordsman though is moving up here. If it just turns, it'll dump its javelins into the Archer Skirmisher hero. It would not survive a dual javelin launch from these units and a charge from the Savage Centaur warriors. Okay, so forces are getting pushed up over here. The chariots did go after the Aeginian runners, but look at the damage. Look at the damage these armored giant spearmen are doing to these chariots. Oh, it's a massacre. Oh, no. Those chariots got to get out of there as soon as they can. The Achilles runners are taking damage, and Dardania is just keeping its forces back. It really needs to capitalize on this. And the rest of the Dardanian army is still falling back, including the Fearless Swordsman. The Archer Skirmisher hero is getting caught by these Centaurs, and we are seeing Dardania activated Centaurs now trying to move around to the flank. It does have another... It could use its other Centaur warrior to come out here and support its hero, perhaps. An attempted rear charge for the Dardanian mob, but it's not going to last out too terribly long. An Axe Charger is in here. It could come in, do some damage. The Centaur warriors are the only real hope that's out here to try and bail out the heavy Anatolian swords against these heavy swordsmen. The hero is in danger of losing its chariot here very, very quickly. We do have Axe Chargers and mob. Well, that mob is routing. We do have an Axe Charger coming to support. Fearless Swordsman versus a relatively weak champion of Phthia. Ooh, this is great. So these units are going to overwhelm this heavy Anatolian sword, but not before he gets the rest of his Fearless Swordsman javelins into the flank, and before he gets his other forces out here. He actually just leaves his Trojan chariots out here as a sacrifice for the giants and Aegidian runners, and it allows him the opportunity to get his other forces out of the trees. I don't think Phthia even knows that they're coming. And the Archer Skirmisher hero does escape with the support of a Centaur warrior. He did pull that Centaur warrior in, and an Axe Charger. I really like this matchup right here for Dardania. He has his Fearless Swords engaged with an already weakened Champion of Phthia. The Champion of Phthia will lose this engagement one-on-one, and the Fearless Swords won't take too much damage, but there's already elements getting into position here to do rear charges into all three engagements, and, you know, dealer's choice at that point. Achilles is trying to get out here now. This is a distraction. This is Dardania distracting tactics at its best. He's pulled these units away. He could go ahead and just move his Savage Centaur warriors out of here and engage in the rest of the battles. These are just units that that Phthia doesn't get to use right now, which is a great way to play as Dardania. The Archer Skirmisher hero is really close to losing its his chariot mount, and when that happens, you better believe Achilles is going to be right there knocking on his door going, "Hey, buddy, you want to duel me?" And he won't say no. What a beautiful shot. I think it was a Myrmidon he just killed with that one arrow. That was beautiful. 11 kills for this skirmisher. He's lined him up now. He's going to go ahead and start hitting this Myrmidon swordsman in the back. Phthia is desperate to try and bail out this champion of Phthia, and oh man, it's just allowing Dardania the opportunity here to rack up kills against these Myrmidon swordsmen. They're up to 87 kills. He's up to 22. We're getting units regrouping back into this battle. We do have young spears out here now. The Fearless Swords are going to lose this, definitely. I'm really impressed by the play from Dardania. I wish he had capitalized on some of these opportunities a little bit sooner. And, oh gosh, Achilles, he thinks he can catch the... Oh man, the Aegidian runners had come back from routing. They just dumped all of their javelins into him. They barely missed, and that's going to allow him... Oh, just that really, really, really split-second difference to save his hero from Achilles. And here comes, yeah, these Aegidian runners are now out of this fight. Fearless Swordsmen are a great pick for something to fight Achilles with. And that leaves the hero free to keep killing other units. Heavy Swordsman wouldn't be a bad bet. He needs to get a Dardanian mob into something just to pin it in place. The Aegidian runners are shattered now. Man, oh man, oh man. What do we have left? The chariots are broken but coming back. There goes Aristea for Achilles. I think the Armored Giant Spearmen must have gotten routed off the battlefield earlier on by maybe heavy Anatolian swords and Fearless Swordsmen. And the units are in place now. We still have 8 more minutes in this battle. This is nuts. Okay, so we got Dardanian mob getting cleaned up over here. The Savage Centaur warriors are still distracting key pieces of the Phthian army. And actually, they're in a position to rout this Aegidian runner here. This is good. He might actually be able to salvage his Axe Charger as well. He's even gotten a heavy Anatolian sword back into this. So, because Phthia's micro is focused out here, these Savage Centaur warriors are in trouble. And these heavy swordsmen aren't doing anything. It's actually a really, really good display from Dardania here. Oh man, the Savage Centaur warriors are determined to try and get the hero off his chariot. The chariot hero is going to get some arrow kills, and he is still faster. He's got 80 speed. They got 77, but mismicroed just for a moment. Big hit. There goes the chariot. The Archer hero is now on foot. Achilles is too far away to capitalize, and he's taking... Oh, wait, he is not taking very much damage from those fearless swords. Never mind. The timely arrival of heavy Anatolian swordsmen must have helped them. But now this hero has activated his Aristea. If he stands here, he might actually be able to rout these Savage Centaur warriors himself if he can kill enough. And if he can get this Anatolian sword to come back, maybe. There's too many enemies nearby. This doesn't look very good for this hero. Plenty of ammo still left on him. That's making a huge difference for the balance of power, which is favoring Phthia, and it could be a lot more in Phthia's favor. So that Savage Centaur warrior did get routed. These heavy swordsmen are back on the move again, but they're so out of position and so out of stamina. I think he just needs to go ahead and pull his Savage Centaur warriors out of this engagement, leave those swordsmen behind, worry about them later. He did shatter the Savage Centaur warrior. Fantastic for this hero. He's got all of his abilities activated. He needs to start using up some of those arrows into what's left of the champions of Phthia and Myrmidons, maybe? Or maybe the Anatolian swords will win this fight, because there's hardly anything left of them. 42 Young Spears is a good place to make a bunch of kills. The Fearless Swordsmen did regroup, but they're being chased by Achilles, whereas Achilles fighting the heavy Anatolian swords. That does look like to be the case here. Oh, they've just dumped the rest of their javelins into Achilles for a little bit of a tickle for him. Not much for it. So Phthia is really running out of tools here very, very quickly. This is a broken Young Spear. We still have about 9 unbreakable units in this battle. There's a regrouped Young Spear over here. And this hero, if he's using his ammo right, he can finish off these unbreakable units. And then the only thing that's really keeping Phthia on the battlefield are these heavy swordsmen. The hero is now targeting Achilles, and I guess so. Yeah, there he goes, because those guys were the writing was on the wall. They were going to die anyway. But I think I want to use that hero to kill off these heavy swordsmen. I think that is the better target here. You can't always just leave Achilles for the very end. It is possible. The Archer hero is a great tool for getting damage against Achilles. Savage Centaur warriors charging back into this now. I think they're on cycle charge duty. I'm hoping they're targeting the heavy swordsmen because they might be able to rout the swordsmen. It is very possible because they are a fear-causing unit, and he is getting his hero down here. I think he needs to kill off these as many swordsmen as he can right now. All right, we are going into the super late game with this battle. He's going to go ahead and charge the heavy swordsmen with this Dardanian mob. They got plenty of stamina. Their morale is great, but that's not going to stay that way. And then rear charge that swordsman with the... Not really a rear charge. He tried. It looks like the swordsman retargeted as soon as the Savage Centaur warriors were on their way. But look at the morale. Heavy swordsman. Ooh, that was a little shaky for them. Dardanian is doing his best to save his ammo. We do have this Young Spear coming back. They're being chased by Anatolian swords. The axe chargers in the distance are coming back. This heavy swordsman is a big problem for Dardania, because Dardania is also running out of tools. They really need this archer skirmisher hero to kill as many heavy swordsmen as he can, and also stay away from Achilles. That centaur drill is going to be critical to staying away from Achilles. That was a very good spot that he saw Achilles on his way. The Young Spears are going to go ahead and come back to this fight, try and finish off this Dardanian mob. Yeah, and there they go. They are now shattered, but they did a heck of a job of staying in this battle as long as they did. Dardanian mob, I salute you. You are always valuable. Always, always valuable. Phthia has gotten most of its forces regrouped here. Savage Centaur warriors, it looks like they're going to try and do some cycle charges. That was a big hit on this heavy swordsman. Now they need to get out of there immediately before they get caught by this anti-large damage from the Young Spears. That wasn't enough to break the heavy swordsman, though. And the archer hero, he's really got to start killing some heavy swordsmen. He has to do this. Phthia is going to go ahead and start grouping his soldiers together, making sure that they stay close. The archer skirmisher hero, he turned off fire at will a while ago. He needs to use his ammo. He's got to use his ammo. And yeah, here they come. Here comes the arrows. And yeah, he is targeting the right unit here. But if he gets too close to Achilles... Oh, unfortunately, he retargeted the Young Spears? Oh, I don't think that was the right call. The Young Spears, they'll run away themselves if they see enough heavy swordsmen die. We do have the Savage Centaur warriors moving back up in this, and it looks like they're going back to the trees. I don't know why the play is to fall back to the trees. I think the play should be to protect your archer skirmisher hero while it kills heavy swordsman. Now, the centaurs are back into this. He does see the attack from the heavy swordsman coming, so he's going to go ahead and try and outrun that. And circle around all of them and just go straight into the young spears, maybe route them off the battlefield. We have arrows coming in from... There we are, finally! The skirmisher is getting those shots in that he needs to get in. He almost broke... He almost shattered those young spears. The troops are coming back out of the trees now. Centaur warriors... Oh, gosh. Oh, and because they're clumped up like this, that archer skirmisher hero is going to make a ton of kills. Oh, but he's got to run away now. Yeah. Then he activated the centaur drill for extra speed, but I think he's... Oh, no, he might get caught anyway. His movement speed is being drastically impacted by something, and now he's been Divine Challenge. I don't know what was slowing him down there. His stamina wasn't impacted. He must have had a move debuff for being in the trees, which might mean a dismounted hero might still count as large, even if it's lost its chariot. That's really unfortunate for Dardania that his speed was impacted that heavily. So that's the end of that hero. He might survive that that duel, but he'll just be broken unit. Oh my goodness, though. Look at this. The heavy swordsmen, their morale is getting really low, but so is the morale on all these. Wait a minute. Achilles had his berserk activated or something, and it pulled him out of the Divine Challenge before it was done. The hero, he has control of his hero again. He could turn him around. He doesn't have to do this. And then he shatters. What was that? What was that at the end? Oh my goodness. So many strange things going down there at the end. Dardania could have won that if he had just been more liberal with the use of his hero's arrows. That was definitely in Dardania's capabilities there at the end. There's so much of his ammo just disappeared there, unused. I'm flabbergasted by this battle. I'm still picking my jaw up off the ground on that one. A wonderful job done by Young Spears, 111, 119 kills. They were probably used against Dardanian mobs, and that's actually a good counter to Dardanian mobs, is if you just throw your own cheap infantry into them. 174 kills for 2 different swordsman units. Very nicely done. 116 for this centaur. I don't like the Trojan chariot sacrifice play that he did, but it was useful ultimately in helping to get rid of the armored giant spearmen. That was a very, very entertaining battle, really down to the wire. So yeah, on that note, ta-ta. I love you all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.